Welcome to the Daily Influence, where our mission is to deliver a daily dose of positive influence that can uplift you personally or be shared within your sphere of influence. While not every episode may directly apply to your unique circumstances, we strive to provide insights and inspiration relevant to most people's daily, weekly, and monthly lives. Whether you are tuning in during the morning, noon, or night, the Daily Influence is here for you. Listen, share, and embrace the power of influence in your life. Hey, it's Brian Smith again with the Daily Influence, and I'm coming to you again from EVO3 in Frisco, Colorado. It's really been a good trip so far. It's helped me to get focused, which is the title of today's episode again. We're still focusing on focus, and today we're going to talk about the turbocharge of going too fast, multitasking. Multitasking is my pet peeve. I'm going to say some pretty aggressive words today that a lot of people might disagree with, because oftentimes I'm almost, I don't know what you want to call it, surprised when I ask somebody, so what do you think one of your best strengths are? And they say, it's my ability to multitask. My next question is well, which of those tasks are you best at then? And we're going to get to what that means here soon. Multitasking is really the epitome of going too fast. It's the turbocharge of going too fast. And what I mean by that is we're trying to do many things in the present moment, almost. We're trying to do too much at one time. My advice on multitasking, never do it. If you want to be your best self in the tasks that you're doing, do not multitask. However, I get a lot of pushback. Well, how can I get my work done if I don't multitask? How do I get my expectations done? What am I supposed to do if I can't multitask? Well, one of the negative effects of losing focus comes from multitasking. And it's really difficult sometimes to police ourselves, to hold ourselves accountable to our multitasking and what that really means. You can get technical about it. I belong to the American Psychological Association, and so I went and looked and was wondering, what do they think about multitasking? And here's what they say. Doing more than one task at a time, especially more than one complex task, takes a toll on productivity. My experience over the last 30 years is that's true. The human mind really can't do two things at once. It's not made that way. It's designed to focus on a task and it mutes the rest. So when we start to focus on something else, the rest of it's muted. There's also some gaps from switching when we pivot, which for a lot of us that live in a pivot world or a pivot environment where we have to pivot from task to task, responsibility to responsibility, what does that mean for us? How can we get better control over those pivots? How can we make those pivots more intentional? And we talked about intention, and we talked about setting up what we can do for managing our time better. Multitasking is not managing our time better, though. It is dividing our mind during a single point in time. And I have this feeling that multitasking is synonymous with cheating, with taking. So what do I mean by that is this. If I'm billing somebody, one of my clients, for my time, and I'm not giving them 100% of that focus, 100% of that time, but my mind wanders and thinks about, let's say, another client's problem or an internal problem, I'm not really being fair to that client with my time. If I am distracted and on the phone while I'm trying to do a task, I'm doing that task slower. I'm not doing it to the full efficiency of my capabilities. It's being slowed down by the division of my mind, having a conversation with somebody about one topic and trying to do motorily or physically another one. Am I fairly billing if I'm billing or charging or getting paid for that time? My answer is no, we're not. multitasking is synonymous to stealing or cheating. And I know that's exceptional. I also know that it's based on, maybe you're multitasking in your office, so there's nobody to bill. So you're just doing multiple tasks for your employer for the same amount of time. So it's just for that employer. So what's the big deal? Well, you're still not doing those tasks to the best of your ability if you're multitasking. Um, there was a study once where they gave over 1,000 people over a course of 10 or more study breaks their phones. And it was found that 97% of smartphone users would use their smartphone in the middle of their study times, in the middle of their work times. And it just goes to show you that how distracting we've become as humans, and technology forces us or pushes us towards multitasking, tells us it's okay to have a phone in our hand while we're supposed to be doing one task or another. What these things do actually, though, is create gaps. Our mind can't get around two different things. So if I'm in the middle of studying, but I'm also in the middle of texting, I might create a gap. If I'm listening to maybe a lesson somewhere and I'm texting or I'm replying to an email, there could be a gap between my understanding of what was said in that space of time. Back to focus and time. It's funny how all of these things we talk about in our focus and in slowing down are so foundational to what we've talked about up till now, about being intentional, about managing and understanding our time, what our time is individually. So multitasking affects that. It gets in the way of efficiency. It gets in the way of knowledge. It gets in the way of our ability to be our best self. One of the ways we can help manage that is ask ourselves a few questions about our day. Okay, this gets back to being intentional. You can use time to your advantage. So how many tasks do you need to finish before the end of the day? What is your goal? What are your intentions for the day when it comes to your tasks for the day? How long will they take? What is the priority or the importance of each task? How much brain power is needed for each task? Some of the work we do is kind of, I hate to use the word mindless because everything takes our mind, but some of it's habit. Some of it can be done without a lot of added or deep thought. But other things we do, some challenges we have in our lives require more thoughtful processing. You should probably get those done earlier in the day when your mind is freshest or close to after a mind break or a physical break in time. So which tasks will require to have that brain power? Identify those. Maybe put a little X next to them. Get yourself prepared for those tasks. Understand that they are going to tax you and your focus ability and your intention ability. So identify those early is becoming intentional about what your needs are. And they'll help you plan your day. They'll help you not have to multitask. And you'll find when you do this that time actually slows down and you get more done. And not only do you get more done more accurately. And that's synonymous with getting more done because you don't have to fix your mistakes. And people make a lot of mistakes when they multitask. They either forget or they write bad things down or they just make mistakes. Prioritizing based on your needs is good. Prioritizing based on your abilities is better. But be realistic about it. Be honest with yourself. Know your limitations. Be intentional about them to understand them. Take breaks. Okay? Everybody needs a break. And it's healthy to take breaks. And it doesn't get in the way of productivity for you to take breaks and to get back to yourself. Work on yourself. You can't be your best for others if you're not your best self. That means getting back to balance, getting back to a 0 point, getting back to a place where you can be fresh again or as fresh as you can be. understanding that our willpower and our ability to be intentional diminishes through a day as our day piles on and the information of the day piles on and the distractions of the day and everything that happens to us. And for each of us, that's a unique, influential experience. But understanding it helps us prepare for it. So take those breaks. Be your best self so that you can be your best for others. Perception, your perception, everybody else's perception. Slow things down. You can manage perception by slowing things down. If people ask people's perception of you, accept what they tell you. Listen to learn from them, but understand and do it from a sense of being your best self so that you can be your best for others. Let's go over the key takeaways for today. I'm excited about this topic. It's a challenging topic. But number one is do your best not to multitask. It decreases productivity. Plan out your day in advance. Go through those questions as how many tasks do you need to finish by the end of your day? How long will they take? What priorities do they have? And not only that, but within those priorities, which ones are going to require the most brain power? And which tasks have the most potential to have digression, to fuel multitasking? And be intentional about those, prepare for those, and set yourself up to battle against the digression, battle against the interruptions. So try breaking your day down into segments. Once you lay out your day and what your tasks are, it's easier to do that. When you understand what your needs are as individual needs and also other people's needs, you can better break it down into segments, make that time more realistic and more timely for you and for those around you, those people that influence you and that you also influence. And make sure to schedule breaks. Breaks are important. They're important for you, and they're important for you to be your best self for others. I hope we've helped with the daily influence today to understand a little bit how multitasking is just not really an efficiency. It is actually something that slows us down in a bad way, not a good way, not the way we've been talking about over the last couple weeks. And it turbocharges the going too fast syndrome that we talk about, and it gets in the way of being our best self in any circumstance. I hope you have a great day. I look forward to talking to you again tomorrow, where we're going to talk about the workplace, which will be really cool because I'm coming to you from the EVO3 workplace. Have a great day.